Hey guys, Dirty Dan TX here. Just wanted to make a quick video showing you some of my favorite smokes on Mirage. There's quite a few smokes on this map, but there's only a few that you really use. You know, I spent a lot of time practicing and learning them, and I really only used maybe 5 or 6 of them. So I just wanted to run through those real quick, kind of hopefully help some of you out that are newer to the game or that maybe have been playing the game for a while and just don't know smokes. So one of the easiest smokes to start off with is the CT smoke. There's a lot of different ways to do this one, but for me personally, I like to get up on this ledge, and you just want to line your crosshair up with this little cut off here, and you're going to look up to this ledge just to the right, and then as you release your left click, you're going to do a full left click. As you release it, tap W to step forwards, just a little bit like that, and what it's going to do is land a smoke right here on the stairs, and it's going to perfectly smoke off your CT. So whoever's over here on the CT side of this is completely smoked off. The only thing they can do is jump up here, which makes them very vulnerable for an easy headshot, or even up here, which makes it, again, very vulnerable and easy to kill them. And this one is for stairs. It's very simple. This one is also quite common. I don't know of any variations for it, but basically what you want to do is walk up to these steps. You jump up on this first step and look straight here. And then you're going to look up to between the building and this first post, and if you consider this the halfway mark, you want to go halfway between the halfway mark and the top. So you want to just go right here in the center. You're going to do a full left click and release, and that's going to make it bounce off of Tetris and stop right there on stairs. So now stairs is smoked off, and your sniper or whoever's sitting here doesn't have a view of Palace. This one's not as good on its own. You know, the CT smoke can actually block off well enough that you can get in here and do a plant while this is blocked off, but from stairs, that's not a really great smoke to do on its own. It's more of a support smoke if you have somebody smoking CT and jungle, CT, jungle, and connector. Then you want to smoke stairs too to have a full A execute. So those are the main 3 that you need for a full A execute: is CT, stairs, and jungle. So I just showed you CT and I showed you stairs. Now I'm going to show you jungle. This one is probably the least common. Not a whole lot of people know this, especially Shroud, because he only knows like one smoke on Mirage. So anyways, again, we're coming up here on the ledge. You want to walk over to these windows here, and you want to look directly in the center of these windows, and then you're going to turn around and you see this little pillar here. You want to look just to the left of it. I basically draw an imaginary line coming up here, and I put my mouse right in between, and then you just want to do a full left click and release. And what that's going to do is bounce off the stairs, bounce off the walls, stop dead center right here, blocking off your connector and your jungle. So with this and stairs and CT, you have a full easy A take. So as you can see here, jungle is now completely blocked off, and so is anybody coming from connector. Those are the main 3 that you want to have for A, for a T side. So the next smoke that I want to show you is how to smoke off window or sniper's nest from T-spawn. This is really great if you want to get mid control and take cat to B or work connector to A. You do have to throw it from this end down here, which is kind of annoying, but if the rest of your team's going for mid control and they're taking cat, this is going to be really helpful because you can eliminate the sniper advantage that they have from window. So basically, to throw this smoke, you're going to come on down to this last window just before Palace here. Get your smoke out. You want to look directly in the center of this window and walk all the way up to it. Then you're going to do a 360, and you see where these power lines intersect, makes 2 X's. You're going to want to use the X on the right as your vertical guide, and you're going to want to use the top of this antenna as your horizontal guide. So come straight up from this until you're even with the top of that antenna. Now this is where it gets tricky. You're going to hold a full left click to throw, but you have to walk forward to get some forward movement going with this as well. The trick to this is you want to release left click just before you run into the fence here, and so basically you're giving it full W moving forward, and you want to release just before you hit the fence, and if you do it just right, then it'll smoke off window. And that's what makes this kind of a difficult smoke, is because if you want to do it consistently, you're going to have to practice it before you just start using this in game. But if you do it right, it's going to look something like this. I'm throwing smoke. And you can see that the smoke lands directly in the window, dead center, and it smokes it off completely. So now your team is free to come up. You could smoke off connector and go cat, smoke off cat and go connector, whatever. And then of course anybody who's in here is completely screwed. They can't see anything, and if they jump out this window, by the time they see anything, you're gonna kill them. So you want to come quiet out of apps, like you come here and then start walking, and your whole team is walking. You can do this one by yourself, and it's pretty easy to take B. So what you do, if you see this little gate here, you want to walk into this crack, not this crack, but this crack. So I'm using D and S, so back into this little crack here. And then once you're back into that crack, you want to look up, and you can see there's a triangle here made by this power line and these buildings. So you want to go dead center on that, hold down left click, and then as you're releasing left click, jump like so. Now what that's going to do is essentially smoke off your cat. It's a little bit of a slow one, but once it pops, cat's completely screwed. So you can come out here and you've got basically window, sight, and then bench and van to worry about. But this guy is completely blind. Once he comes out this way, he makes himself a really easy target for somebody peeking from window. So another great smoke for B-side apps would be bench. And there's a couple of different ways to do this one, but I figured out a way that's really easy. So basically, if you walk up, you see these posts here, these 3 posts. You want to come to the center one and look directly at it, walk up to it, and then turn. And line your mouse up with this first of these 3 little rafters that stick out, and then you want to go up about even with the second rafter here, and then you're just going to do left click and release, and that is going to land right here between van and sight, which is going to smoke off bench. So now this guy playing bench is completely blind. He can't see anything. He has to move to sight, which makes him an easy target for your guys waiting here in apps. So another really useful smoke for B-side apps, T-side, is smoking off market window. There tends to be a lot of oppers and snipers in that area, and it gives them an easy chance to pick off people as they pass the windows walking through apps. So what you want to do is come here, find this little lamp hanging off the wall, line yourself straight up with it and walk all the way up to it so you're directly underneath it. Then you're going to turn, and you're just going to get right here into this little corner. You want to just go right just above and to the right of this, where this building and this roof meet, and then you're just going to left click and release. And what that's going to do is go right over it into sight. It's going to bounce, and then it's going to pop and effectively block off your market. So now this sniper can't see anything. He's got to move, and from here you can see you're obviously safe to cross over now. If you combine that with the cat smoke, you're in really good shape. So now we're going to switch over to T side, and I'm just going to, or CT side, and I'm just going to do it from the T character perspective to make things easy. But basically we have a couple on this side that I use. There's not a whole lot CT side, but one is to obviously smoke a ramp. Now a lot of people just run up here and toss a smoke. That's fine, it usually works, but I like to be a little bit more consistent. So when I come out of CT spawn, I like to run up, use this top step here to align yourself. You want to get all the way up against the wall, the top step, and then you use this little ledge here that we used for the CT smoke. You want to line that up with the edge of this box. So you come straight up off this box until you're right there, and then you're just going to left click and throw. That will consistently get you a perfect A-ramp smoke every time. Now, it's a tad bit slow, so you got to make sure you get to the spot quick before an opper gets there, but it really shouldn't be too hard. You know, if the CT round starts, you're coming, you should be pretty good at just getting up here and just doing that. So it's not very hard to line up. You'll get the hang of it, and then you'll be able to smoke A-ramp perfectly every time. And as you can see, there's no leaks or holes or anything like that here, so they're completely smoked off. That's pretty much all I use for A site. The rest of them you can just kind of, you know, guess and throw if you want to smoke off apps or whatever. That doesn't really take anything special. Now on B side, I like to, when I'm playing B, I like to run out a market door here, and I come up to this trash can, and what I'm going to do is use this to smoke off apps. So I run up to the trash can, I'm all the way against the trash can on the wall in the corner, and then you can see this ledge here, you have the shadow. If you go just to the left where the shadow ends and you throw, you're going to perfectly smoke off apps. And so again, as you can see, that's a perfect smoke, and you can throw that consistently. Now, of course, you can also run up here and just, you know, toss one in there like that, and that usually works fine. But you get a much quicker smoke if you run up here and you just do this. You get it smoked off much more quickly, and it makes it a lot harder for them to commit to a B rush. Anyways, that's it for now. I hope these are helpful. If you have any questions, post up in the comments. I'm by no means a professional or a super great player or anything like that. I just found these really helpful and thought I would share them. Thanks for watching.